Hello fellow leggers, thank you for joining us once again. We're bringing you another review from up in the Midlands at the Nottingham Playhouse.
Where we are seeing a brand new adaptation of a classic Ibsen piece starring a BAFTA award nominated and two-time Screen Actors Guild award winner.
Oh, who is that, you're going to say?
I'm not going to tell you later, but that piece is An Enemy of the People. So stick around to find out all of our thoughts.
As usual, find out how many stars.
And whether it's break a leg or leg it. So An Enemy of the People, I'm a little bit biased here guys because we do really enjoy Ibsen as a general
Well, we're not biased, it's just that the Ibsen that we've seen has been really good.
It has. I think.
Why has there been some good drama?
And his writing has stood the test of time, and with new adaptations making it relevant, it always seems to fit politically the times that we're living in. And I don't think this piece is going to be any exception.
So once again, high hopes for this piece.
High hopes. Now, written by Henrik Ibsen in 1882, it was a response to the public outcry that he experienced against his play Ghosts, which challenged the hypocrisy of 19th century mortality and was considered and called scandalous, degenerate and immoral. So he wrote An Enemy of the People, telling the story of a man who dared to speak out and reveal the truth, no matter how unpalatable it may seem, and is subsequently punished for it by society and those around him.
Love it already.
I know, right?
And Ibsen, a man after my own heart, pushing forward, championing a message.
This brand new adaptation by Rebecca Lenkiewicz has been brought bang up to date and places a female at the centre of the scandal.
Good.
And asks the question, when does a moral campaign tip into an ego-driven martyrdom?
Okay, who is the female?
Are you ready?
Is this where our...
In the role of Dr Stockmann is the marvellous Kingston. Alex has recently made a return to the stage following a hugely successful career on screen with roles such as Dr Elizabeth Corday in 160 episodes of the medical drama ER, which was massively successful.
Oh yes, she was huge.
And a recurring role as a fan favourite River Song on Doctor Who.
She's great.
Also in the cast is 2019 Olivier Award nominee Malcolm Sinclair. Malcolm was nominated for his part in the play Pressure at the Ambassadors Theatre last year. Director here is Adam Penford. The artistic director has taken on this piece and put in his own spin on it, and designed by Morgan Large. Morgan did quite a difference. Josie from the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat of the Palladium.
Are we going to see any of that in this? It doesn't seem the right kind of piece.
I want rainbows, I want jazzles, I want it all, darling. Two acts, no idea about the runtime, guys. Might tell you at the end if we remember, but stick around for a 30-second interval breakdown.
And as usual, stick around to the end to hear all of our thoughts and find out how many stars. Well, fellow leggers, we've come to the interval, which means it's time for the breaker leggers. 30-second interval breakdown. Go! What do you think so far?
With me. It's sort of like Aaron Brockovich, isn't it? It's got relevant themes. Morgan Large's design is really nice. It's a shame there won't be much scenery left by the time Alex Kingston stopped chewing it.
Okay, I agree. Nice themes, nice and up to date, dramatic right from the start, which is a bit different to Ibsen, but I'm enjoying that. Nice change of genders, nice same-sex relationships, nice diversity. But yeah, some of the acting I am not quite buying into or believing what's happening. Fellow leggers, we have come to the end of... Is it An Enemy of the People?
It is An Enemy of the People. You know what? We're halfway there if you can get the title right. I mean, geez, all the research I do. I know.
See so much theatre. I've heard of An Enemy of the People.
As a phrase or as a piece of theatre?
As a piece of theatre. Now I know what it is, or at least an adaptation of it.
Yes.
What did you make of this adaptation?
I mean, I really enjoyed some of the themes that Ibsen explored in this, and I am both reassured equally as much as I'm comforted that people, no matter when they lived or what they did, are inherently the same. And that comes as a sort of double-edged sword for me. It's kind of a comfort in familiarity, and that as a human species, we've always been flawed. We've always had our problems, we've always had our fights, we've always had our defeats and our triumphs. equally, I feel like we've not moved on in centuries, and things that we shouldn't pull focus to now, we should have learned from and moved on from, we still haven't. And that's why I like Ibsen's work, because he challenges me and excites me in his familiarity and in that sort of scariness of, are we not learning any bloody lessons here, guys, as
we
society?
could be now. I mean, you're right, it was written
and
over
that's
100
why
years
I
ago,
love Ibsen.
and it feels like it's as relevant now.
And it's been adapted
true.
to bring it up to date.
And I think we've seen a few Ibsens now, and they have been brought up to date, and they are current, and they're relevant.
As
and
ever.
The questions he's asking, and those observations on society, that pack mentality of people, the pursuit of truth, how power can corrupt and manipulate, the themes that Ibsen uses, and the dramatic. He injects, I think, the scenes with drama. There is real drama in the Ibsen we've seen.
Yeah.
So he has that as Ibsen.
And I saw a lot of similarities between other Ibsens, like Rosmersholm, with the character saying that only the informed should have the right to command, to rule.
Yes,
you know, like to have an opinion. Can't
trust the masses.
You can't trust the general public because
fake news is in.
And you know, living in the Brexit era and believing everything you hear and having those, there are touches of that. Do they need to be here in this adaptation? I don't know. I wasn't bowled over by having that central character as a woman. I mean, I'm glad.
No. I disagree. I think that this is a good adaptation. I think they've brought the right elements to bring it up to date. It suited, as I said in the breakdown, it suited the diversity casting. It switched the central male characters, because I imagine back in the day this would have been heavily male, but no, they've adjusted all of that to make sure it's balanced, driving through a female character, which brings a different edge to it, especially the closing lines. I thought the kind of what a woman has to do to push through and be strong. I also like the same touches of a same-sex relationship, which I think back in the day would have been a heteronormative relationship, so I like that as well. I like the idea of the husband being a stay-at-home husband. There's some nice modern ideas that I liked.
But I saw
in the adaptation
until the last scene, and particularly the last few sentences. I felt much about it as I did about Death of a Salesman and having that difference, because I felt like, is she struggling more here because she's a woman? Is she saying, you're not paying attention to me because as an empowerment piece, I've got to make my voice twice as loud because I'm a woman fighting this. I don't think that it wasn't there for me as an extra level of problem.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
I've got to agree. It was very much because it was the
woman,
brother.
Yeah.
It was the brother.
And that would have been the same
it.
had it have been a man in that role or a woman.
Whereas
I would
there's
have
something
liked,
in there if it was a female.
I would have liked subtext of the fight being twice as hard, as the fight being something uneven. They weren't on the same level playing field. But
so
for
she
this,
was going to lose
because
before she even started.
Yeah.
As opposed to just not being able to control the masses.
It just didn't seem to be there, and whether it passed me by, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would have liked that. I know it's going to say, if you're going to make it a woman, I want it to be an empowerment piece, because I want us to finally realise how badly we've treated women and how we have given them a lower level on the, they've never been, we've given them a lot less credit and a lot less, given their women opinions, just minimised them through all this time.
Okay,
I
so
wanted that to be there. I wanted it standing up in the adaptation.
And now let's go on to this production of this adaptation.
Sure. So, I mean, I would say
so much. You see, it's not just a question of did you enjoy the show, Legers?
Yeah,
there's
deep,
so much
isn't
to
it?
think about.
There is so much. to think about.
It's that closed question which we hate. Did you enjoy the show? Not that we were asked that, but you can't ask people that question. So, what did you think of this production?
I mean, what are you asking me specifically here? I mean, I thought the set design. I mean, I love Morgan Lodge,
and he's
about
the set design?
I mean, he is a gorgeous man, but I've got to put that
lovely.
out of my mind for a moment. The set design it reminded me a little bit of The Hunt.
And The Hunt is similar in its themes.
In that Nordic witch hunt themes.
Yes, and it's set in kind of like this Nordic Bath area town, and you've got this beautiful backcloth of the trees, the alpine trees.
I felt like I was in Scandinavia.
Yeah, and the steam rising up. I felt it was there. It was quite modern as well, nice wooden effects and nice lighting that again was very current, and now
Yeah,
some
lighting
undertones.
was Tina McHugh.
undertones of music, underscoring at
Fran's
stages.
back. And I thought that was really important, actually, because it tried to emphasise the drama. I mean, it didn't bowl me over, and I wasn't like on the edge of my seat with the music, but I appreciated the distraction.
Where this fell down for me was in the leading actress, who is
Alex Kingston.
She is bloody talented. I've seen her in some fantastic stuff. She's got a legacy of a career. However, this is the first time I'm seeing her on stage.
Yes.
And I can see she's got craft, but it wasn't pitched at the right level. Where she was for some of those more dramatic moments come the end of the piece, those heightened scenes, was where she was from start to finish. There was no variation there for me. So as a result, I didn't buy into her, into the character. It didn't help sell it for me. It was confused.
I was thinking about, which is a real shame, I was thinking about all
Shame, 'cause I love her.
of the actors I would have loved to have seen in this role and how they would have interpreted the text, because for me, I didn't feel like her interpretation of that character was right. And whether that comes down to her ability or the direction of the piece, I do not know. But it did not work for me at all. It was too high octane. I really wanted to love her because, like you, I've admired so much of her TV work, but it was just at times a little bit embarrassing about all the emphasis. It was all up here and it was all in the arms. There was no subtlety in the performance at any stage. I didn't feel a sense of threat, and it's sometimes self-doubt. What I'd have wanted in that character is moments of reflection where, am I doing the right thing here? You know, those really to pull it back and to be having a word with yourself. But it was so gung-ho the whole blooming time. It just lost me. I found it incredible. It wasn't a credible performance.
Yeah, I found for me she was acting the text. So, for example, if she was saying, "Oh my goodness, I'm so excited," she was playing, "Oh my goodness, I'm so excited," instead of almost playing the opposite of like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so excited."
Yeah.
Where you say the word, but that's not actually what you're showing, and that's what a clever actor in this kind of piece, going back to Stanislavski and all that stuff, the undercurrents, that what you're saying actually doesn't match what you're doing or how you're showing, and that's exciting stuff, and that shows intuition and shows intelligence. Don't just give us what you're saying. That's what I call default acting for me.
Let's move on though, but let's talk about someone that I know you did enjoy, and that's Decker Walmsley as Christopher Stockton, played the husband.
But again, as the opposite, he was just natural. He was. I felt as if we'd seen him in Wonderland here, and he was just incredibly natural. He wasn't pushing. He was just more being, and that's what I liked. It was as if he wasn't trying. He was just there. So I thought that was great.
Yeah. Also, must mention Olivier Award nominee from this year, Malcolm Sinclair, in the role of Mayor Peter Matson. I mean, Malcolm is so comfortable on stage, so commanding on stage.
He wasn't. He was just. He would naturally fit that character, a very dark character.
Yeah,
he came across as a bit of a panto villain, come the bells.
Which I don't think is a compliment, to be honest with you, because talking about overblown performances and everything's knee snaps and like, "Hey kids," the whole thing was a little bit like that. So to get booed at the end, I was a little bit like, where are we right now? When a credible actor comes out that gives a villainous and sinister performance, but then gets booed, does it undermine the integrity of the piece?
Or has he done a good job?
I don't know.
Well, he did do a good job.
But I would, for me, I would show that in my level of applause. I wouldn't show it in my feedback as if I was at Jack and the Beanstalk.
But you didn't boo, did you? You clapped. This is
slow clapped.
I thought he was very good.
Yes. Let's also talk about someone I did actually like and stood out for me, especially in the early scenes, was Jordan Peters in the role of Billing. Really small role, underused in Act 2, but my God, immediately completely compelling to watch. He will be snapped up. He will be great on TV.
Well,
he will be snapped up. You've seen it here first. I think he's going to land a great job soon and become a really big thing. He trained at Lambda. Jordan Peters, and the role of Billing, really loved him.
Great. Okay, anything else you want to talk about?
Not particularly.
Okay, well, I guess you're probably wondering how many stars we're going to give an Enemy of the People here at Nottingham Playhouse, but before we do...
Oh, yeah, sorry, you must hit subscribe to let us know you're there, guys, because we're not doing this for each other, we're really not.
Now, if you want to see more of our honesty,
yeah.
what we think, what we don't think...
Thumbs up or thumbs down, what did you say?
Be something, don't be nothing.
Don't be nothing, there you go.
So, for an Enemy of the People, currently playing here at the Nottingham Playhouse, we are going to give... 3 stars.
Just a very average production of a piece of, I mean, the classic Ibsen, going back to text, is great with its theme, strong, current, relevant,
Drama.
scarily, it's dramatic.
Yeah.
It's a great piece of work. The adaptation, meh.
I liked it.
It's okay. The performances, however, I would like to go back to the drawing board.
I think what's worked with other Ibsens we've seen, I'm thinking specifically of The Wild Duck, for example, and even Rosamund to a degree, it's just the acting has been top notch, a real understanding of the text. And I did get that in Driving Through. For me,
a bit of a shame, really, but hey, that's just what I think.
and totally just what I think.
Let-
I heard people saying that it was wonderful and it was joyous on the way out.
I mean, I wouldn't
So
say
what
it
do I
was
know?
joyous. It
No,
was
I
a bit.
wouldn't
It
say
was,
it's
you know,
joyous.
I wasn't like, oh, life affirmed. It wasn't come from away, but you know, I
But
don't
it just
know if I
goes
like
to
that.
show.
It just goes to show
that's
how
just
subjective
our
it is.
experience.
Absolutely.
And
But
what was your experience?
yeah, we'd love to hear from you. We're the Breaker Leggers.
And we'll catch you again soon.
Bye.